We are out in the city of Melbourne tonight with the LUMIX S5II and the 7200 f4 LUMIX lens. So obviously it's an f4, it's going to be quite hard to shoot at night time as it is low light, but we're going to see how good this camera is at night time. So this first location that we're at is on Spring Street, and then looking down there you have this awesome kind of compression shot of where the trams come up. So I'm going to wait for a tram to come up. The tram is on its way up. We should be able to get a nice shot of that tram. Move over a little bit. I do love the compression of 200mm. It looks absolutely sick. Okay, right, let's move on from here. I did get a shot of this dude just now, but I think actually we might be able to get another shot of him, but just from a different angle. If we get lower side. Sweet. Can I cross here? No, I have to go down this way. The tram is going left. Let's see if we can get a nice panning shot of the tram. 200mm. It was a bit slow there, but I might have got one or two. Okay, so thinking we can probably get a shot of the tram driver. Don't know how it lines up. It never lines up how I want it to. Maybe this. So because I've turned the brightness up on the screen, I can't go off the exposure on the screen. I'm going off the exposure meter. So I'm trying to keep it at like -1 or at +0. So like just equal. And I find that's kind of like the best that I find for editing and my kind of workflow. Cycle is coming towards me. Don't know if I've got the right settings, but we shall find out. And then we'll get a tram shot as well. I actually think I'm just going to jump behind the tram. I think they were slightly overexposed. I'm going to go behind the tram and get a nice compressed shot of it if I can. And hopefully get some people walking behind it maybe. So much depth with the people walking through. Yeah, it's all right. It's a crossing. It was on a green. The crossing was on a green for us, so he's not going to go into me.
Well, I was worried for you.
I know, thank you, I appreciate it. But don't worry, I was watching. But thank you, I appreciate it. That was nice. The old lady thought I was in trouble, so she like tried saving me. She was like, oh, you're gonna get run over by the tram, but like I knew it was on a green for the crossing, so it was all Gucci, but it was nice that she tried to help. Okay, so there's a shot here. There's a dude down that alleyway, and I'm thinking if I throw it into manual focus and pull focus through the window, I might be able to get a good shot. It's very dark though. I mean, obviously you guys can't smell. I mean, that's a very obvious fact because it's bloody video on YouTube, but it stinks. Absolutely stinks here. I don't know why. We'll get this person just sitting in the window. Yep, still in manual focus. Sick. What I like with kind of how this week's gone is, wow, I need to take that again. Jesus Christ, Sam. ISO galore. Jeez, that was terrible. ISO was mad high because I was too busy thinking about talking and not thinking about settings. Okay, here we go. Yeah, what I've learned this week is just get this shot of this dude in the window. Oh, the eye tracking from here, the dude in the window. Yes, Lumix, take that. What I've learned this week is that I've shot with pretty much everything. Wide, 35mm, 7200, 24-70, the Sony, and this. And what I'm finding is, like, obviously there's so many different types of street photography, you know, and I'm enjoying all types of it. This is just a different thing. Like, it's hard to compose with a 200mm, but it's a good way of capturing the streets. It's a good way of showing just the people of the streets, and I really enjoy it. Before we continue, I want to talk about today's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is an online platform where you can go ahead and create your website. Using their templates, you can get it up and running by the end of today. I sell products and I showcase my portfolio on my website, and it's an easy way to showcase your content to brands to show what you can create for them. Down in the description, there is a link. You can go ahead, click on that link, and create your website today. Do you use Squarespace? Yeah, I use Squarespace. Sick. He uses it, I use it. You should use it. So walking along here, there's a nice reflection shot. I'm going to hold it flush against the window. Not entirely, I don't really have a plan. I don't really have a direction that I'm heading in specifically. Just slowly meandering my way back towards my hotel that I'm staying at. Okay, so there's a tram all the way up there. I'm thinking that I might be able to get a decent shot. We are at 200mm. I'm just waiting for it to come a bit closer towards me. I want a green here anyway, so it's fine. Look at center. Yeah, even at 200mm, it's slightly too far away to get that nice compression. See if we can get a shot of the driver. I don't know how they like it here. I don't think they do like it. Oh no, he's giving me the evils. Oh no, he's gonna smite me. There is someone sat in the tram stop down there. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over to the left-hand side, actually come off the road. And in the video I used these seats to get a nice weird bokeh effect, and I'll tell you this for free, that looks dope as fuck. Yes, you heard me, dope as fuck. So now I'm just gonna wait for the tram to come into shot. Oh, that's kind of tasty, you know. I am happy with that. Like, actually generally ecstatic. That is a very full tram. We'll jump behind the tram. Jump behind the tram. I'll have to take myself literally. There you go, I jumped. That's for your amusement only. As it goes up the hill, it might be a nice shot. Who knows, I'm just vibing on the street, you know, literally just sitting on the floor. Potential. Nice and simple shot. Maybe the Merc. Two alright shots. Slightly overblown, but made it darker in the edit and still turned out pretty good. See if we can get a shot of the skater. And it's a good little test that we'll end on actually. I'm going to push the ISO because it is an f4. Like I said, you lose out on that wider aperture. So what we're going to do is we're going to play around with some faster shutter speed. So we're going to put it at 160th of a second, so we get a little bit more to play with. So you can allow for a little bit more movement. And we're going to put it on ISO 10,000, which is obviously ridiculous, but we'll see how we go. I think ISO 10,000 is arguably ridiculous, and we'll see how it turns out. We'll see how the camera performs at that high ISO. We can even push it a bit higher if we want to and do a bit more of a test. We're going to ISO 12,800 and we'll put it to a shutter speed of 200th of a second. Now these are extreme conditions, and when you're shooting at nighttime you wouldn't necessarily be shooting in these settings because, well, you'd be ideally trying to expose correctly rather than just showing kind of how far you can push the camera. That being said, I think it's a good little test to see what its capabilities are. Right, doing it on a little scooter. Tram. Again, these are pretty unrealistic settings, and we're just doing it as a test, as a little to give you an idea of, you know, the ISO capabilities of this camera. So I'm just getting kind of like anything and everything. And I mean, in the back of the camera, they don't look too bad. You can see on the screen that the shots are pretty passable, considering we're shooting at 12,800 ISO. And I think that just goes to give testament to what LUMIX have been able to pull out of a camera. We can go even further with the ISO. We'll go all the way to the max ISO, which is 51,200, which is obviously borderline just stupid. But there are circumstances where mistakes happen. You end up doing things you didn't mean to do, and you need to know if it's possible to recover that file and whether or not it's still usable. So I think this is a good insight whether or not it is actually still usable. Staying in this little area because it's the same lighting, so it gives you a good little idea of similar lighting, testing them in the same lighting. I'll put the ISO settings on the screen as well, so it gives you a good indication of what we're kind of talking about here and how it kind of looks. I know that with my presets, and I know with my editing, I know that I can salvage these images, and I think that's also part of the beauty of editing, is that if you do fuck up, there's always a solution, there's always a way to overcome the problem that you have. Now, over the last 2 months, I've been using the S5II in various different situations and locations, and honestly, it's a power horse, both for video and photo. I'm going to be doing a comparison soon between this and the Sony a7 IV, and honestly, it's very comparable. In low light situations, as you've just seen, at high ISOs, even for photos, you can salvage it, and it's very, very good. So even with an f4 lens, you can go out and capture things at nighttime, and you're going to walk away with a usable image. That being said, you wouldn't typically shoot at that high ISO anyway, but I'm just showing you as an example that you can still salvage the images. If you have any questions about the camera or the lens, let me know in the comments and I'll answer them for you. I am yet to test out the video in high ISO, but I will obviously be doing that soon. So if you're interested, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification so you get notified when I do upload that. With that being said, create more, stress less, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace, love, have fun.